Hey everybody, welcome back to UniX TCG. We are currently about to go over where I fell onto with the Zorro deck. We had a huge tournament today, and it actually culminated with me going all the way to the finals. We had rounds of Swiss entering into a top cut, and while I did lose in the finals, I did pull this bad boy from my, second place prizing, so that's pretty awesome. If you're looking for a Manga Shanks, I am selling him. You can reach me on the Discord, which will be in the description, and you can join, by the way. I think you should join. There's a pretty cool place to talk about all these card games, video games, and just stuff in general. So you guys have seen the last video. It is a One Piece video. I do a lot of other card games, Dragon Ball. We're going to be getting the Battle Spirits. We dabble here and there, and right now I am kind of on One Piece right now. If you want to see DBS content, like my takes off of Nationals and stuff like that, let me know in the comments. But I think that since I went in with a not optimal deck and I wasn't really like playing that hard, who would want to hear my Nationals opinion? But if you do, let me know and we'll go over it. So with that being said, yeah, I should go to the other view and we should talk about this list. I made some changes since last time and I'll tell you guys how I feel about it. But I think next week, going into the next 5 or 6 locals, I'm going to switch to a new deck because this is cool, but I want to be a little more well-rounded and I want to see all my options before we get to the Treasure Cup. And that's what this series is, prepping for the Treasure Cup. So if you like the content, think about hitting that subscribe button, like the video, comment on it so it trends, and I'm going to be going through all these comments and actually responding to them. Believe me, it's just been a busy week and I'm about to move, so yeah. Let's roll into it. So, basically, we're going to go over the deck real quick. I'll try to be a little quicker on certain things since we already in there. You've got this Shanks. No, I don't really play him, but he's just cool, and I wanted to put him on the screen. Check out my Instagram or, just the short I'm going to put up or my Twitter. I love this card. I'm putting up videos and stills of all the cards. But point being, you got Zorro. This is basic. He is very, very, very strict aggro. However, most people think it's like unga bunga, like oops, but like this is actually a really solid, straightforward card that requires good fundamentals for resource-based card games. And any card game that has a resource like mana or Dawn and has summoning sickness at the same time, you really need to be better at aggro to excel in it. Lots of people don't understand this. Your offense is your defense as well. Clearing boards, applying pressure in ways that drain hand, and magical numbers. When I mean magical numbers, and I say this, like this could be a whole other video. If you guys want me to do a video on it, let me know because I do like discussions if you've seen my Dragon Ball content. Magical numbers is an important thing. For instance, your opponent has 2 cards in hand. The only combo or counter values in this game are 1k and 2k. So if you want to swing on them, and you want it to go through or drain the maximum amount of cards, magic number is 7. You need to swing for 7k, because if they have 2 1ks, they can't break it. If they have a 1k and a 2k, they have to drop their whole hand to break it. If they have 2 2ks, they still have to drop their whole hand to break it. So these magical numbers and understanding them conceptually is how you apply pressure and bring the hand control essentially that aggro does bring, forcing your opponent to combo when they need to at numbers that are advantageous to you. So that extra 1000 allows you to not only juice the most out of your 2k or your 2 drops, but it also allows you to hit those numbers more consistently. Putting a single Dawn under a Zorro after playing him and swinging for that magical 7k, knowing what they have to get out of their hand to drop it. So yeah, that's cool. Leader snapped. As for the cards, first and foremost, and some of these you don't really need to know much about, but I'll give a little more insight to my testing this week because I have in this video gone through 4 locals and a box tournament. This box tournament, like I said, Swiss, and then I got defeated in the finals and we started at top 8. So I've had a fair amount of experience already this week with Zorro. I've played a bunch of games on and in events. So yeah, we're gonna play these 4 Namis. Didn't change that. Very good card. Searches for your Straw Hats and their Straw Hat events. But on top of that, it's a 2k. So adding just 2k Dawn under it plus the leader Zorro is going to bump it up to a 5k, making it neutral on your opposing leader. But also just with the Dawn underneath Zorro, this is going to go for 3k on a Momonosuke or a Bonnie, and that's enough. So yeah. Next, we have got Chopper. Chopper is the blocker, of course. In other decks, you generally have early game blockers like the 1 drops or 2 drops in Kaido's case, and then you go up to your late game blockers. But this deck doesn't really have late game blockers, so your choppers are pretty crucial, and using them in the matchups correctly is very crucial to you winning or losing. Going into your just normal plays. If you're facing the mirror, you might want to put them out mid-game to stop yourself from bleeding too early. I only like taking 1 to 2 life against the mirror, sometimes mostly 1, because things get a little hectic in the top deck wars later. But you got to be careful, because red versus red, if you play a good game, you guys both should kind of hand out towards the end. And if they don't ever attack your life and they're only attacking your battle or your characters, you're not really going to have a lot in hand. But against green, you want to save these more for the mid game, late game, because Kid is lethal when you're on 1 life. If you're on 1 life and no blockers, there's almost nothing you can do but lose to Kid. So keeping your healthy 3 life is gonna be how you stop Kid in the late game, because they can't ever really go for your life. They don't have hasters, and to use Kid to start swinging on your life when you have a board set up is how they end up getting punched out for game next turn. Next, you've got Otama. This card is, I'm not going to use the term broken. The people use that a little bit too much, but Otama's very good. Minus 2k. She is a 2k counter. She is very, very good in conjunction with a Gum Jet Pistol. Like when somebody plays an 8-drop Kid, if they do against you, you can play this and then pay 4 more for a Gum Jet Pistol. It brings 8Ks down to the level of being mised by a very powerful removal card. She's also able to soften up things. You bring something down by 2k and then swing on it. Sometimes you'll just do that on the Kid and then swing on it. Things like that. Moving on, you've got this 4-drop suite, or this 2-drop suite. Unfortunately, none of these are straw hats. They had the foresight not to make a 2-cost vanilla straw hat, but these guys are very, very, very good. The main reason is because you actually are able to boost them up to 5Ks with Zoro's ability. When I go second, I always love opening these up, because I play my 2 Dawn, I play one of these. Next turn, I untap anything that's tapped, and then I get my draw, I play my Dawn, and I can attach a Dawn to Zoro, leaving myself with 3 open Dawn. Swing with one of these 2-drops. They swing for 5k neutral against the leader. You either take it or you drop a card. Either way, you're either getting closer to death or you're losing advantage. Then I can swing with my leader for 6k, making it even harder. If you didn't stop the first one, are you stopping the second one? We'll see. Then I have 3 energy up to play another card, and that's what we're going to get into soon enough. It could be a Searcher Nami and a 2-drop. It could be a Robin. It's likely not early game, not really going to be a Zorro, because I don't really have a way to defend it, and generally just going to go at it with your leader. So yeah, I think a lot of people kind of willingly play Zorros a little bit too fast. While you're watching this, you can go down in the description though and click on the contest link, because I'm still giving away multiple super pre-release decks as well as a couple of other goodies. So if you guys are looking for it, it's there, but I'll talk about that more at the end. Now we've got this. We got 4 Usopp. I'm probably going to switch this one. This is the first card in the list so far that I think I'm gonna switch, just because of how the ratios are. It's just is what it is. But basically he has an effect where if you have a Dawn underneath him and your opponent plays an event, once per turn you draw a card. Kind of cool, kind of sucks. Chances are they're ruining that swing, but you get to draw a card for it for the setup. And sometimes if they see that happening, see the investment, they'll just try to combo out of it instead. And then you're sitting there looking stupid, because this card is removed by anything. He gets tapped and swung on, he's dead. They have a opposing Robin, he's dead. They just played King from the One Piece Romance Dawn set, he's dead. So in reality, I'm likely going to switch the ratio to 4 Sanji and 3 Usopp. Because on the other end, while they're both 2k counters, which is one of the main reasons they're there, searchable 2k counters, he is also going to be able to sit there, and if you get into situations where you need to swing big, he takes a life and instantly goes up to 8k. And he's using Rested Dawn to do it, and that's pretty much just wonderful. So, and I mean 8k by going up by 2k to 5k, putting 2 Rested Dawn underneath him, and then having the leader effect, he goes to 8k, which is pretty big body. That's only a 2 energy investment. You play something else beside him and you do this. So that's actually a very, very nice. You can tear apart boards like crazy. Like you could literally play an Otama and minus something 2k, play another 1-drop or a chopper blocker, depending on if you're not swinging on life that turn, because you don't want triggers messing up your day. And then you could just bam, activate this guy's effect, take a life, which can get risky depending on the matchup, put 2 cards underneath him, and 2 Dawn underneath him, and then swing for 8k on their like now 2k less thing. This card though, very, 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 very good. You have 4 Robin. She's a 1k counter, and we do like being able to defend ourselves. The most important thing is when she swings with the Dawn underneath her, she is going to destroy something with 3k power or less. This causes so many 2-for-1s, it's not even funny. Plus with Zoro's ability, she's going to be a 6k. So you can swing on something, pop something else, and then eradicate it because you're swinging for 6k. Normally to combo on a 4k or a 5k, they have to go up a fair amount. So if it's 4k, it's almost auto dead. If it's 5k, they have to really think about what they want to do. Furthermore, she's able to wipe off blockers off the field. So against green, having her on the field for too long in the game just ruins their board state. They try to get rid of that super fast. And then you have, you know, the opposing Namis and whatnot, the choppers on your opponent's side, even the Otamas, because even today, I put 4 or 5 Dawn under an Otama and swung just because I didn't want to play anything from my hand, but I wanted to make the most out of my field. Gets pretty cool. Next, you have one of the best cards in the deck, Polarizing. You have Zorro. Lots of people play these out in ways they should, in my opinion. He's really, really good. If you are in control and the pressure is wild, you do not need to play hasters until you need to change the math. Because this is a game with resources and summoning sickness. Everybody can count your attacks. You can look at your opponent's field and go leader, threat, threat. You don't need them to be able to count your rushes. You need to be able to swing with all your threats, and when they're like, okay, I should have weathered the storm, unless, that's when you play the rush and really test the limits of their defense. That is pretty much that. He's got great stats. He is 5k. He has a he's gonna go up to 6k with Zoro's effect. Like I said, when it comes to mythology like that, if you want me to make a video, let me know in the comments and I'll talk about playing aggro from a pilot perspective, because I think a lot of people just underrate it and they don't, and other people don't really know how. It leads to a lot of easy mirror matches when you're facing people with red that don't know what they're doing. But when you know what you're doing, red becomes very, very grindy after like turn like 4. So it is what it is. Next, you got 4 Uta. And there's nothing really much to say about this. I had her at 3 in the last video. She's down to, or at 4, she's down to 3 because she doesn't have a combo cost, so she's 4. But the point is, you just play her and you get back whatever. If you need more offense, you get back one of these. If you're in a position where you can stabilize and you know they're not killing you, you can get back a Robin to replay her. You can get back a Chopper. If you need to dig, you can get back a Robin and dig, or sorry, an Ami and dig. You can get back an Otama. Like, she's really just, look at how much of this deck is toolboxable by her. Any one of these cards you can get back by her, and it's just wonderful. Next, you got these guys are great. You definitely need these. This week, I did lose in the finals, and if I had a single haster, I would have like won. So yes, I only run 4 hasters, and that could be something that's an issue for me. Maybe I need to run 1 Sanji. I was at a point though where 2 Namis were in deck. I think 2 or 3 Namis were in deck. 2 of the extra search card were in the deck. I still had 2 Zoros in the deck, 2 or 3 Zoros in the deck, and I had like all 4 of my Luffys, or maybe no, I had 1 Luffy, 2 Luffys left. So I had like half my deck at that point that I could have top decked for the game. But look, either way, it happens. I beat him last night, he beat me today, but I also got the Manga Shanks in my prize pool for 2nd place, so I can't be too mad. But yeah, this Luffy is just really, really good. He's a haster, he's bigger. I like, most of the time I like seeing him more because their stat lines are so similar. It's you're losing 1,000, but you play him for 2 less. And that's actually just really, really powerful. But this guy has the ability that your opponent, if they're at 0 life and 3 blockers, the amount of times I've closed out games just by playing this dude and putting the rest of my Dawn on and swinging for 11k and being like, can you deal with it? And the answer was no. Astounding. Then, of course, we still have 4 of these. This is a MVP to me. Momentum is everything when you're playing tempo, or when you're playing aggro. And the moment you have to pass a turn without making forward aggression is the moment you just suck. Like, you have to be tearing apart their boards because, like I said, your offense is your defense. You tear apart their board, they can't swing on you for game. You tear apart the board and they have to start swinging on your stuff. And, you know, if you do it, the one time they swing on one of your Zoros and you actually block it, that sucks. Especially when they're not hasting themselves and they're not rushing themselves, because then they just swung with their only viable swinger that turn, which is probably their leader, and they didn't even clear it. So yeah, there's a lot you can work on in there. But this card is there because you never want to have a empty turn. And once you start using these, like if you see these early game, you can bust them out like turn 1, sometimes turn 3, maybe turn 4. But when you start seeing them turn 4 and beyond, you're really able to play this card and then play whatever you got off of it. So that's good. Next, I respect you no matter what deck choices you do, but I personally think that you're just not technically optimal if you haven't touched 4 Gum Gum Jet Pistol. This card is insane. It destroys something 6k power or less. That's Law, that's Queen, that's opposing Luffy's, that's in this matchup, even the mirror, I will smoke a Nico Robin so freaking quick. These other things, I'll swing on them. Nico Robin gets smoked immediately because if she can't be killed, she needs to be erased because she ruins half of this suite. Then in the green matchup, she gets played on Okiku, she gets played on Law. I normally save in the green matchup if I can help it, so I can Otama, Jet Pistol, what's it called, you know what I'm talking about, a Kid. And then you also have the, in the King matchup, not the King matchup, the Kaido matchup, a lot of the cards can be Okiku'd into Gum Gum Jet Pistol. So it's pretty cool. The last thing I have here is 2 Red Hawks. These are tech. I know a lot of people are using them. These are a little harder to use. I do like having a plus 4K. Getting them in life is very rare, but it's happened to me surprisingly often. And if you do use that, you can. They have a big swing they haven't swung yet because they're swinging in a correct order, and you haven't cleared their field. You can minus 10k something, and that works. Like if a Kaido ever knocks this off of your life, you can minus 10k their biggest card and know you just won't have to block it. Or Dofi against blue, or you know, like a Kid blocker in green. There's a lot of things you can do here. But the thing I like with it is that early game, sometimes you just don't need to press with all of your energy. And the amount of times that, yes, you can juke him by like doing things like, I don't know, putting an energy under Robin before you swing with anything else. Or the moment you put an energy under Zoro, she's 5k, so she can't be hit by this. However, what can be hit by these are the Bonnies and the Momonosuke's and the blockers. They swing, and if they're still in the field, you just Red Hawk, block the attack, blow up something that they were going to set up for. You know, Bonnies and Momonosuke's will be defended to the death, but you just cut it off right then and there, or you destroy a blocker. So this is my current list. They're running on 15 minutes, so I didn't want to go any further than that. I just wanted to explain my philosophy and let you know that this has been the deck that has been working for me all week. I've been to 4 locals in a box tournament. I've won 3 of those locals. I had a guy beat me in the mirror 2 days ago, and then I returned the favor tonight. But he didn't draw that well, so I'm hoping for another rematch, but we'll see each other. We're in the same area, and we've seen each other like 3 tournaments now. So I'm very, very excited for that. I've been having a really good run versus Kid. Just so you know, like this matchup was literally the mirror match versus the guy I just talked about, and the rest Kid. My top 8, my top 4, the finals. Well, no, he was top 4. So my top 8, the finals, and all my sweats, Kid. So this deck has a pretty good win ratio against it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments. I'll be happy to answer it, and we're going to build another deck for next week. So get ready to have videos on another one. Thanks, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And yeah, if you like the content, think about hitting the subscription button. Check out the One Piece contest, the giveaway that's going to end on Friday. And I'll see you in the next video. Later.